Writing an inquiry paper is a bit like running an interview on a chat show. You want good guests, so your audience knows you're legit, but as the host, you have to bring something to the conversation. With that being said, we now return to Chad Chat.
Banana Laffy Towers, they're based on a flavor of banana, or a species of banana that doesn't exist anymore. They used to exist and they went extinct because there wasn't enough genetic variety between them. So people are always talking about banana runs, banana Laffy.
The thing with banana seeds.
Yeah, Chad?
Brad, listen. I love what you have here, but why don't we give some of our other guests a chance to talk here? Why don't you give me a goddamn motion or something?
Whoa there! Slow down. Why don't we run this back and take a look at how a well-organized and structured conversation should go?
Hi everyone, welcome back to Chad Chat. If you're just tuning in, Brad here has some excellent points on why bananas are so great for you. But now, let's hear her rebuttal. Thad, Vlad, do you have anything to say about that?
Well, I've heard something some other scientists have said about how if a person were to eat about 40,000 bananas under 10 minutes, they would die of radioactive poisoning from it.
Very interesting point, Thad. I don't know how a man could possibly do that, but what to a man their own. Vlad, do you have anything to say about that?
Yes, Chad. Thanks for asking. I just want to know who the f*** made that? The f***ing banana bodyguard or some shit?
Prince Potassium over here was spilling all
You are the one sitting on this couch acting all high and mighty about these bananas. I just want to know what makes you so cool and the awesome banana guy. What do you possibly know about
It's a conspiracy! You went to Plymouth State University! How do you know anything about bananas?
You are grasping at straws right now to figure out, who is the actual banana expert. You know absolutely nothing. I'm smarter than both of you. My parents study bananas for...
Your parents study bananas?
Somebody give me a drink, goddammit!
Your parents study bananas? They didn't tell me that when I was in bed with them last night.
Well now, wasn't that something? Sure, they get a little messy, but you gotta admit, it was much more interesting than listening to one person drone on uninterrupted. Your job in an inquiry paper is to give the reader a lively conversation between you and your sources. You want to make sure your paper has multiple sources talking together rather than one just monologuing. One thing you can do as a writer to differentiate this between sources is to implement a sort of color code. Alright, so let's say that our main source is red, so we're going to color code quite a bit of this red. Now, this is not surprising, as this is our main source of the essay. This is the backbone of our essay. Here you can see there is a lot of color. There's a big mistake here being that the usage of the main source and only the main source can come off as monologuing, right? If this is what your paper looks like, the reader ends up getting tired of looking at the same source that's spread absolutely thin. Readers kind of crave an order to the conversation where all of the sources interact. And in the case of our video, some conflicting drama. Another thing of note, and something you may have noticed in the actual interview, is that there was a lot of redundant information in the actual conflict, right? So while it's okay to quote notable things from articles and from different sources, this is your essay. This is your paper. You want your own words. You want to paraphrase. You don't want to directly quote 24/7. In an ideal situation, you want to have another source jump in to add their thoughts to the first source, whether it be contradicting the main source, echoing the main source, or generally adding additional context to the main source. However you spin it, you can already start to see something a bit more broken up and intelligible. Now, something you didn't necessarily see in the chat show was all of this blank space that we didn't highlight. That blank space is you, the moderator of the conversation, adding additional insight and explanation. In the video, the moderator didn't get to elaborate their sources, but this is something you are able to do, which brings order and transition into the paper. With these keys of conversation moderating and regulation, you are going to be on the track to writing an excellent paper that is very well organized and very well communicated to the reader.